Now we will discuss about the various applications of the potentiometer, because whenever we are having certain principle and a device, how it is applied in the practical applications, it is going to be very important. And for us, we are having the first application is nothing but comparison of EMFs of two primary cells. Now these two primary cells can be any primary cells, such as a Leclanche cell also, such as a Daniell cell also. In our practical also we are going to use about the Leclanche cell and the Daniell cell for the primary cells, which are considered to be the electrolytic cell. Okay, so to find out the comparison of EMF of two primary cells, this particular potentiometer experiment is used. Now why to compare the EMF? Because whenever we are considering about the Leclanche cell and Daniell cell, then both the primary cells are having the different EMF. Okay, so Leclanche cell is generally having the high EMF and Daniell cell is generally having the lesser EMF. Okay, so if we want to compare the EMF or compare the ratio of the EMF, then we have to use this particular circuit having the potentiometer. Okay, now you can see that in this circuit diagram, for comparing the EMF of two cells, a constant current is maintained in the wire A to B. Okay, now who is maintaining this constant current? The battery or a driver cell which is having the EMF E is maintaining the constant current. Okay, and it is connected to the key which is called as a plug key, and this is a rheostat. Okay, now you can see that from point A there are two cells, primary cells are connected. Okay, that means E1 is the EMF of the first cell and E2 is the EMF of the second cell, and which we want to compare the EMF. Okay, now all the positive terminals of the two cells as well as the battery are connected to point A. That means at point A all three positive are there. Which three positive? Battery positive, first cell positive, second cell positive. Okay, now the positive terminals are connected, and then the negative terminals are connected to a high resistance box. You can see that the negative terminal of the cell 1 and cell 2 is connected to the high resistance box. Okay, but in between that you can see that this is called as a two-way key. Okay, so this is a two-way key we can utilize. From A to C is one contact and C to B is called as another key. Now from the point C, common point, resistance box which is called as a high resistance box, so HRB, high resistance box, is used, and again it is connected to the galvanometer, because galvanometer we want to find out whether the current is flowing through the circuit or not. Okay, so whether it is showing the deflection or not. So to get the null point or the balance point, galvanometer is must. Okay, now the second terminal of the galvanometer is connected to a jockey called as a sliding contact. Okay, so J1 is the one position and J2 is the another position for the different two cells. Okay, now we have the high resistance box, because means why high resistance box is connected, that is to prevent the excessive current flowing through the galvanometer, because galvanometer is a device which is a very sensitive device and it is generally used to measure a very minimum amount of current. Okay, so if suddenly the current flows through the galvanometer, it can damage. So to safeguard the galvanometer from the excessive current, the high resistance box is used. Generally we remove from this particular resistance box 2000 ohm resistance. Okay, well, you will study this while we will perform the practical during the school hours. Okay, now what happens? As the plug key is connected, that means between A and C the plug key is put up, means the between A and C I have to now consider that the plug key is inserted. Okay, that means the cell E1 is introduced in the circuit, because E2's key we have not plugged in, so E2 is not in the circuit, but now E1 is in the circuit, isn't it? And now at that time we have to move the jockey, okay, along the wire starting from A towards the this particular 100 centimeter, then we are going to cover the 200 centimeter, 300 centimeter and 400 centimeter. Okay, now this jockey is slided, isn't it, or moved across the wire AB. Okay, now up to what point we want to move this jockey. Okay, now you can see that whenever we are moving the jockey, you are not going to continuously slide it. you have to just keep that jockey terminal on this particular point, okay, and then just lift it up, and then you will see that there is a deflection in the galvanometer. Okay, whenever you will touch the jockey to the wire, you will see the deflection. When you will just remove the jockey from the wire, you will see the zero deflection. Okay, so you have to slowly move in this way towards the this 100 centimeter side or the higher length side. Okay, then there will be one place whenever you will see that at a particular length, you will observe that this jockey, whenever you are going to put up or keep it on the wire, okay, the deflection in the galvanometer is zero. Okay, or whenever you lift it up the jockey, again the galvanometer shows the zero deflection. Okay, obviously when galvanometer shows zero deflection, the first thing is when the jockey is removed from the wire, that means the wire is not in contact with jockey. That is true. Okay, but there is another one point, or there is another length at which when the jockey is put up or kept on the wire, that time also the galvanometer shows zero deflection or null deflection. Okay, now this position of the jockey is called as a J1. Okay, and this length of the wire, I can say that AJ1 is called as L1. Okay, now K is the potential gradient of the wire. Okay, so obviously to get this null point where the galvanometer shows zero deflection, we have E1 is equal to KL1, because E1 is the EMF of the cell 1 and must be equal to KL1. Okay, now everybody will say that what is the null point, okay, and why the null point is observed, why the galvanometer shows zero deflection whenever we will get that balancing length. Okay, now this is because when the potential across the scale, that is across the wire, okay, and the unknown EMF, this EMF we want to find out, this is unknown EMF, is applied are equal, then at equal potentials there is no flow of current. This we have studied. Whenever there is a potential difference, then and then only the current flows. That means the galvanometer will show the deflection. But the moment when the potential across the wire, become equal to the potential or the EMF of the cell which is now in the circuit, then both the potentials are same, and that time the current will never flow through the circuit. Okay, so between these two terminals, and that's what we are getting here. The galvanometer shows the null deflection or the zero deflection. Okay, so this point where the galvanometer, after keeping the jockey on at a certain particular length, when galvanometer shows the zero deflection, then that particular length from the point A is measured as the balancing length L1. So this is called as a balancing length L1, which is nothing but showing how much is the potential, how much is the EMF of the cell. Okay, now this is the first equation, we got it. Now what happened? Now we will remove this key. Okay, now between A and C, the key is removed now. Okay, so it is now removed, and the key is plugged in now in the second cell. Okay, now what happened? Now first cell is removed from the circuit and the second cell is introduced in the circuit. Okay, again we are going to trace the jockey from A towards this particular higher length side of the wire. Okay, now again at a particular length or at a particular point, you will see that the galvanometer is showing the zero deflection or null deflection. Again what happened? We know that at this place, once again the balancing length will be considered as AJ2 is equal to L2. Once again what happens? E2 is in the circuit now because E1 is removed. So E2 is in the circuit. E2 is equal to KL2. Now the K value is constant. That is nothing but the potential gradient of the potentiometer. Okay, now you can have these two equations and we can say that E2 by E1 is equal to L2 by L1. Okay, now if one of the two cells is a standard cell of known EMF, then the EMF of the other cell can be determined. So if any three values are known, then the unknown value we can find out. So if I want to find out E2, then E2 is equal to L2 by L1. into E1. Okay, now the important thing is that in order to get the null point on the potentiometer, it is necessary that the EMF of the auxiliary battery must be greater than both E1 and E2, and this is going to be a very important point. Okay, so the thing is that to get null point on potentiometer wire, it is necessary that the EMF of auxiliary battery or also it is called as a driver cell which drives the circuit. So this battery is called as a driver cell and this circuit is called as a auxiliary circuit or auxiliary battery. Okay, and this must be greater than E1 and E2 whose EMF we want to compare. Okay, now again I'll write down here the very important condition, what is meant by the null point or why galvanometer shows zero reading at null point, because this is only the basic concept of that particular experiment. Okay, because I'll write down here so that you can understand, because when potential across scale or wire, scale is nothing but the wire, okay, and unknown EMF applied are equal, then at equal potential there is no flow of current. As no potential difference between two ends. Therefore, galvanometer shows zero deflection. And that length is called as the balancing length. So, this length where the null point occurs in the circuit is called as a balancing length, or we call it as a null point. Thank you.